Hi, I'm Tom Timbrell from Heritage Blades, and I'm here at the fantastic Chalke History Festival. I'm back again this year doing another iron smelt. Previously, we did it based in the Iron Age using technology from that time. This time we're going medieval. And the aim this year is to smelt some iron and then forge small knives, table knives, belt knives, and the likes, cutlery basically, and polish and sharpen and fit handles, all using the technology available to them at the time. That's shaping up to be a fantastic festival is just waking up behind me. So, come join me. Let's make some iron. Now that we're here at the iron smelt, we've always got to remember it's a lot like when you're cooking. You need to have all your ingredients ready. It loves consistency when you're smelting iron. You need the furnace to stay the same temperature, so you need all your ingredients prepped, ready, and the same all the way through. The most important perhaps is actually our iron ore. I mean, we can't have iron without the ore first. So we actually have two types here. We have our bog iron. Bog iron is a fantastic material. In nature, it's really easy to identify. You usually find it in waterways, bogs, marshes, and the likes. It shows up quite bright red or orange, but also on the water, you'll see a film of oil, a film of grease there. So you know you're finding bog iron. Though it takes a lot of work, you've got to dig up a lot and dry it out. So it's an awful lot of work to get to it, get enough to smelt some iron. So instead, this time around, what we're using ore that has been mined. So this is hematite. It's again a lovely bright rock. This has been mixed with a bit of flour. We break it down into a powder, mix it with flour, make little, almost burger patties, and then break it up into pea-sized amounts. This is so that when we put it in the furnace, the air from the bellows doesn't just blast the powder back out. It helps it stay in that furnace so we can reduce it down to get our iron. Though, of course, none of that is going to happen unless you have your fuel. Now, you could use coal or coke, but we're in the 13th century here. The preferred method of fuel is actually for using charcoal. Charcoal is really good because it's, of course, coming from trees that have been burnt in a kiln or a specially designed pit with almost no oxygen. So they basically become pure carbon. This allows us to get that furnace up to temperatures over 1300 degrees centigrade, the temperature we need to reduce the ore into our iron blue. We've got all our materials. The charcoal is broken down all to a nice consistent size, about the size of a walnut. We're pretty much ready to go. All that is needed is the doing of it. Now the furnace behind me, you can see it's well underway. It doesn't necessarily look like an awful lot is going on. Okay, we've got some flames coming out of the top, but there's a huge, really and powerful reaction going on here. We've got air coming through the bellows that you see, riding down the pipe through a soapstone tier into the heart of that furnace. At the base of the furnace, our charcoal is heating up to over 1300 degrees. The reason we can see flames coming out of the top of that is because it's all the gases coming off the charcoal igniting in that heat. And at the very core, our iron ore is slowly working its way down into that heat and is reducing basically the slag, the impurities, all the things we don't want in that iron is melting away from it. It sinks to the bottom and our iron should float on top of that slag. As we go along, it will fill up. It will get harder to force air into that furnace. So we're going to have to open it up and tap the liquid, the molten slag out of the furnace and then quickly close it back up so we can continue. Only 6 or 7 kilos have gone in so far. It is really just the tip of the iceberg for this. There's so much more work to come. Right.
But it's stuck to the wall probably. Yep. Okay.
Right. Yep. Ready. Go on. Hold it first. Hold. Gentle. Couple. Yep. Up. Hold. Yep. Doesn't sound great, does it? Hold. Gentle. That feels solid there. Keep going. Go. Hold. Got slag bubbling up through it. Yeah. There you go. Yep. You can strike one after the other.
Yeah.
Well, we have iron. It's been a bit of a exciting end to the first part of this project. Working in the furnace, it was going so well, but as the days just progressed, things started to go a little bit wrong. Bellows started to fall loose, doors started to crack. We couldn't quite get the slag out of the furnace, but we've still managed to actually produce a decent chunk of iron. We've worked that down with wooden mallets and struck it with sledgehammers and begun splitting it so it's easier to work, get into smaller portions, and it really is quite solid. So we're just waiting to let it cool down before we weigh it and see how much we've got. But yeah, Emma, how do you think? That was nice and successful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it actually went really well. So in the end, we had to pull the iron out quite early just because of issues with some bellows and the slag, like Tom just said. But this is about the same size of block as we got in the smelt we did last year. So last year, we had about a 6-hour smelt process and we used about 19 kilos of ore, thereabouts. And yeah, the block turned out about this size of iron at the end of the smelt. But this time, we only spent just over 3 hours smelting, and we used 14
See,
of those
I think
blocks.
14 it was in the end, wasn't it?
So that's a smaller amount of ore going in for the same size of block. So that basically tells us that the smelt was working better this time. So the bellows were making everything hotter. Everything was going really well for a good few hours there. So yeah, not a bad result, I think. I'm really happy.
Yeah. Yeah, so despite a few unexpected problems and things not quite always going our way, I mean, we had to improvise a fair few times as we went along. Similar issue again as last time of the slag sticking to the wall of the furnace. We just couldn't tap it out of the furnace, and it just again ends up blocking the air pipe, prematurely ending our smelt. We'll be forever wondering just how much we could have got if things had carried on the way they started this morning.
Could have been really good, I think, but
Yeah,
another time.
absolutely. Another time. I'm still really excited to see just what we can get out of that block of iron.